45, well, it's a brim full of Asher on the 45. Brim full of Asher on the 45, well, it's a brim full of Asher on the 45.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mike Solomonov coming to you live from my South Philly backyard where we're gonna cook a little bit of laser wolf a la esh or barbecue or charcoal on the fire. We've got some really good stuff going on. I'm gonna walk you through how I'd recommend doing it. So make sure your grill is nice and hot and let's go do this. All right, so guys, we've got our marinated chicken shishlik, our skirt steak with shishito peppers, merguez lamb kebabs, and some roasted eggplant that are all ready to go, all seasoned sort of perfectly and ready for the grill. I put the chicken on about a minute or so ago. All right, what we're gonna do now is add the skirt steak. We're gonna add the kebabs at the same time, leaving a little space for the eggplant at the end, all right? And the reason that we're doing this is so everything more or less comes up at around the same time. Like I said, these guys are marinated, seasoned, ready to go. All you have to do is put them on the grill.
Brim full of Asher on the 45, well, it's a brim full of Asher on the 45. Brim full of Asher on the 45, well, it's a...
All right, so we're gonna let these guys cook for another 2 minutes or so and probably give them flips and then add the eggplant. Oh yeah. Okay, so you can tell it's ready to be flipped because the chicken is starting to look a little bit opaque even on the top side.
Mohammed Rafi 45, Lata Mangeshkar 45, Solid State Radio.
So we're gonna put the lid back on this guy, let it go for another 2 minutes, and then I think we're gonna be ready to go. Oh, looking good. Yeah, it smells ridiculous. And if you want, you can always like yank off a little piece of chicken or a little piece of steak and just give it a little test with a knife, but you want it to be kind of springy and not really give. That's the key. But you know, these are marinated so nicely as well. You really don't need to do very much at all. I'm gonna take these guys off and I'm gonna eat all of them in 5 seconds.
Everybody needs a bosom. Everybody needs a bosom for a pillow. Everybody needs a bosom. Everybody needs a bosom for a pillow. Everybody needs a bosom. Mine's on the 45.
Guys, thank you again so much. I hope you enjoy. I'm gonna devour all of this right now. Thank you for supporting Laser Wolf. Thank you for supporting Cookin' Solo. I hope you guys are healthy, safe, B'Te'avon. Have a great weekend.
From Laser. Just want to talk to you about how to cook this ribeye steak at home. So we're going to let the steak come to room temperature. You want it out of the fridge for at least 30 minutes. I've got a nice cast iron pan here, heated to like a medium-high heat. For me it's 4.5 out of 6 on my stove. If you don't have a cast iron pan, you can use any pan that is oven safe. And a little later on we can talk about options for grilling, which is obviously recommended, but I know not everyone has a charcoal grill at home. So we got our pan nice and hot. I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil. I like to use a blended oil, like a canola olive blend. And we're just gonna put the steak in there. And this steak is ready to go. So there's no seasoning or salting or marinating required. We've done that all for you. All you gotta do is cook it. Okay, so it's been about 4 minutes now of searing the first side of the steak. We're just gonna go ahead and flip it. and then we're going to put it into the oven to finish cooking. So you got that really nice sear on the first side, good like caramelization, and the second side is going to start to sear as we cook from all sides in the oven. We have the oven preheated to 425 degrees. A lot of people will tell you to go higher, like 450 or even 500, but with a steak that's this large and on the bone, I like a slightly lower temperature to help cook it nice and evenly before singeing the outside and having a raw interior. See you in about 20 minutes. So we want to check the inside of the steak close to the bone. You can either go in right here, or you could also come in here, but where we really want to check is right around here. And as long as this feels a little bit warm on our lower lip, that means we're right about medium rare, which is the sweet spot, because we're going to have this guy rest for about 10 or 15 minutes before we carve it. It's going to carry over and cook a little more. So let's see how we're doing. Yep, it's just barely warm, which is great. It means we're at about 115 or 120 degrees, which is going to be a perfect medium rare. So now our steak is nicely rested. We're ready to start carving. Looks pretty good. If you were going to charcoal grill this steak, it's going to be around the same cook time, right about 20 to 22 minutes total. You're going to want to go over like a medium coals, because if it's too hot, the fat rendering off of the steak cause a lot of flare-ups, which will burn the steak and make it not so pleasant. And you just want to flip it about every 5 minutes. By continuously flipping, I know a lot of people say like you should only touch your steak once when it's on the grill, but by flipping it a few times, it's going to speed up the cooking and also keep the cooking even, because that way you are cooking basically from both sides at all times. So first what we'll do is kind of separate these muscle groups. Down here is what's known as the ribeye cap, or some people will call it the decal. It's going to come apart very easily. You could almost do it by hand, just a little bit of help from the knife. Now up here we've got the eye. I'm just going to remove that from the bone. Now this guy we'll cut in half, and then we're going to carve like this. So this is kind of like the money. As far as I'm concerned, it's going to be a little bit fattier, really nicely marbled. These are like the prize pieces down here. And then we're going to check the eye, see which way the grain is running. As you can see, it's kind of going like this. So we're going to want to cut against the grain here. Just cut nice thick slices all the way down. If you want, you could trim that fat cap off, but I think it's pretty nice. And with the leeks and vinaigrette that we served with this, those are going to balance out all the fat and richness of the steak really well. So make sure you eat them together. And there you have it. You've got your ribeye.